good atmosphere, really good atmosphere in Columbia, Missouri on Saturday. You know, Missouri was really bad last year. I don't know if you've heard this or not, but they went 0-18 in the SEC. 0-19 if you want to count the SEC tournament. The year before that, they were an NCAA tournament team in Dennis Gates' first year. The years before that, they were awful. And it's a big deal because Missouri fans care deeply about basketball. This place has got a lot of basketball tradition. It's had a lot of success through the years. And them being as bad as they were for an extended period of time, that didn't sit well. And they seem to have righted the ship, and their fans have responded in a big way. That place holds a little over 15,000, and it was packed, loud. And Ole Miss rolled in and immediately quieted the crowd. Went up 8-0, hit a 3 at the buzzer, came up with a couple of turnovers, got a bucket, got another 3. It's 8-0 right out of the gate. Stop me if you've heard this before. Missouri then proceeded to immediately go on a 12-0 run.
Yeah, that people talk about rebounding, and now they're turning the basketball over and stuff more. Ole Miss's biggest issue is they will disappear offensively for long periods of time.
Yeah. And it's a combination of things. I mean, Ole Miss is not a team that turns the basketball over very much. They turned it over more on Saturday than they normally do. They struggled, or we thought they were going to struggle rebounding the basketball, and then kind of out of the gate in the SEC, they rebounded it better than anybody thought they were going to, but they have reverted to some of their rebounding woes the last couple of ball games. It really started with the Mississippi State game, but Mississippi State, Texas A&M, Missouri, all 3 losses, they have been significantly out-rebounded. You had a scoreless first half for Matthew Morrell. There was some question as to whether or not he was going to play.
I don't think he's healthy.
I actually thought in the second half he looked more healthy than he had in really at any point since he returned from the early season injury. Thought he had a lot of spring in his step. There was some desperation there. Shot the ball better. I mean, he's double digits for the game, all of them in the second half. But Missouri had 2 dudes. Tamar Bates was great, and Caleb Grill was just phenomenal. Came off the bench about 5 minutes into the ball game. Ole Miss lost him. He hits a mid-range jumper. A couple of possessions later, Ole Miss loses him again. He hits a 3. Neither of those balls got even close to touching the rim.
Yeah.
Like they were just like, whoosh. All you heard was the net swishing. And then he was off to the races. He hit 6 threes. Coming off a game where he scored 4 points and Texas really bottled him up. And it felt like one of those nights where if he got off to a good start, it was like, hang on, you're going to have to find a way. And, I mean, Ole Miss didn't really have an answer for him. Missouri scored, you've got it for me right here, Borky, but I just don't have the box open yet. There it is. Missouri scored 83 points in the game. 51 of those came from 2 players.
Yeah. And
wow.
And I don't think Ole Miss played poor defensive basketball. It's just one of those things that happens sometimes where you run into a night where you got a couple of guys that can't miss from the outside. And the problem that they have now is they don't have that guy right now. They don't have the, when you cut it to 4, get a stop, and you've got a guy that, here you go get me 2, keep us going. It's different. And Missouri had those guys, and Ole Miss would cut it to 4, and then boom, 3-point shot. Like, they don't have right now the guy that they can get the ball to go get them a bucket. Because who is that guy? At times, Padula can be that guy, but he's been a little careless with the basketball lately. Morrell has disappeared.
4 turnovers from your point guard's too many.
Too many. And then, I mean, can't inbound the ball either. But that is the most glaring thing about Saturday. And it's that game in and of itself, losing that game was fine. It's fine to go to a ranked team on the road and lose, but it's your 3rd in a row. And you're doing similar things in all three losses. You're careless with the basketball late. Yeah, you're turning it over on inbounds. You're getting out rebounded. It's kind of the same stuff that's plagued them in each of their three losses, and I don't know how you get out of it. And also, you were there to witness it. The next basketball game I coach will be the first one. So many of Ole Miss's possessions feel like when they're over, I have no idea what they were trying to accomplish. A whole lot of dribbling, very little off-ball movement, very little ball movement. And it's like you waste 20 seconds on one guy just kind of dribbling a little bit and trying to see if he can get some penetration, and he can't, so he backs it out a little bit, maybe kicks it out to the guard. He gets the ball right back and dribbles it out some more, and then suddenly 3 seconds on the shot clock, got to take a contested three. And I watched that and I wonder, what were you guys trying to accomplish here? There's no way you think that that's going to score at a consistent rate.
There are a lot of things you can point to that were difference in the game. Missouri plus 11 on the boards, 39-28. They had 11 offensive rebounds. But Ole Miss had 10 steals, came in averaging 10.1, tops in the SEC. These were the top two steals teams in the SEC. Ole Miss was number one at 10.11, and Missouri was number two at 10.0. Missouri had 12 steals. Ole Miss had 10. Ole Miss a little bit above their season average in terms of turnovers. They're averaging just a hair over 9 a game. They turned it over 13 times. But they forced 16 turnovers in the ballgame. So while, yes, there are lots of different things that you can point to me, there are two that stand out. Number one, the three-point line. Missouri was 11 of 25, 44%. You shoot 44% from three, you're going to win a lot of games.
In the NBA.
And Ole Miss was the number one three-point defense in the SEC by a fairly significant amount coming in, had not given up anywhere close to 44% all season long. Number two, free throws. Missouri makes 28. They go 28 of 39 from the free throw line. Ole Miss attempted 18. There were a couple of calls that Ole Miss didn't get, but largely the fouls that they committed were fouls. Sorry, excuse me. I was trying to hold it in. I just couldn't do it. Thank you. I thought the block on Jamin Brakefield was a miss. Like that was a very foul that bad was called. Call. That was an unbelievably athletic play. He had to go across the rim and basically pin it against the backboard, and there was almost no body or hand contact. But the block that John Bowl had earlier in the game was one of the most physical lower body plays with some hand up top, and it wasn't called a foul. It was